Grumble, grumble.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grumpy Meeple. Today we are continuing our playthrough of the Tanares Adventure campaign, looking at the campaign log phase calendar. We are currently right here in our first city phase, which is very exciting and also surprisingly something that the tutorial really didn't do any kind of job of preparing you for, considering the amount of stuff they covered in said tutorial. It's surprising that they did not cover that. And I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, we're good. We finished everything in terms of the pre-city phase stuff. So we're going to go through the city phase. I'm going to read through the relevant parts of the instructions here, and then we're going to build out our city phase map and do what we do. Okay. So we're in the campaign section of the rule book. We really don't need any of this flavor text or anything. We know what we're doing here. All right, here they're showing you the character cards. There are two types: your hero cards and NPC cards. But together they're considered to be character cards and part of your character deck. So, yeah, you put all the hero cards together. The NPC cards you separate by week. Yada, yada, yada. Here they're just kind of walking you through how the NPC cards work, but I feel like we'll touch on that in the actual game. I think we're going to skip to the next chapter, the management guide, yeah. This is how you get to choose where and how to invest your limited resources. Your characters look up to you and will contribute as you deem fit to help the city and its structures develop. Gather your characters and allocate them on various challenges. You can send them to produce abilities on expeditions to foreign lands that will pay you resources. That's here. To recruit visiting NPCs so you can have more characters to allocate in future city phases and use on journey phases. That's happening right here. On city structures to run errands and help build them. That is happening here. Yeah. For each challenge with an empty slot you accomplish, put a mana cube on it. These cubes convert into resources or city structure credits. Spend cubes and or resources to receive rewards. Example, loot cards, NPCs conquered, upgrade, or use a structure purchase item. Yeah. Investment decisions. You may allocate characters on challenges that represent an investment on your heroes, on recruiting characters, or on the city itself. You may invest in the city and see good long-term results, spending resources to upgrade the weapon shop so that it offers better items in the future. If you neglect the city, you may have more resources, but there will come a time when you won't be able to adequately spend them because the city does not develop at the pace you needed. You may invest in characters to obtain some power during quests and use their great city powers to accelerate the resource output of management activities. If you neglect the characters, your city may become a stronger machine, but you may find that your weak character that can't generate enough resources to keep up with the city's increased costs. You may decide to buy items to invest on yourself and become more powerful. If you neglect yourself, you won't be able to keep up with the development of enemy forces. Your worst performance on quests may yield fewer resources to spend in town. So the overview. You've got the basically three stages: the assembling stage, the spending stage, and the wrapping up stage. Assembling stage. Step 1. Grab and shuffle your character deck. Include the hero and NPC cards used in the last adventure. Okay, but I'm pretty sure the character deck is not just that. Yeah, initial character deck, 24 cards. Begin the campaign with 24 Iron Hand officers that have low ability production and no quest power. This deck is constantly enhanced as you begin to conquer face-up NPCs and obtain new heroes. Yeah, but even that is not... even that isn't the whole character deck, because... yeah, after adding your 4 initial heroes to it, the deck will have 28 cards. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. All right, well, let's get started here. We are looking for NPCs, the week 1 NPCs, yes. And we know that there should be 24 of them. Well, this doesn't look right. This is supposed to just be the Iron Hands. Oh, okay, right. So, all right, bear with me here. I was like, these guys look badass. I would love for them to be my starting guys, but they're not. It's these initial cards. For NPCs. And we'll go ahead and put those back. And put those back. It does say initial character 24 cards. City deck is 74 cards. The characters you don't own. The face-up NPCs come from here. I had this down like a couple days ago, and of course I stepped away from the game because I'm insanely busy. Say that contains the character cards you don't own, hero cards, and NPC cards. Right. All the hero cards go together. The NPC cards you separate by week. Okay. The character, this initial character deck just goes there. I think the heroes go into it too, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I need all the hero cards, which is funny because they say something like it's 74 cards, but I don't think that accounts for having everything and this absolutely gigantic pile of heroes. So we'll put that there. Maybe it does. Actually, it would be really smart. Yeah, maybe it does. Just thinking it'd be smarter of them to include all those cards in Tanares to try and sell you all the future content. But we're just gonna go through this deck, make sure we got everything we want. 2, week 3. Really need to get this organized. Always more organization if you're insanely neurotic like me. Oh, well, look at that. That's why you look. Just that one fucking guy. I guess so. Yeah, we're going to have to reorganize this PC deck. Doesn't actually say anything about assembling your decks here, which is a little weird. It describes the deck, but it doesn't say shuffle your fucking deck. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. I don't love this about the structure of this rule book. It tends to do this where it like gives you an incomplete set of instructions up front, and then the detailed instructions that you actually fucking need to do this stuff are buried on the next page. I would reverse this. Maybe move this, image, or move this forward so that it's what you land on initially, so that you're not fumbling around. And this stuff is broken down on the map too. Which is nice, but I want to go through the book right now since it's my first time. Open the city map and shuffle your character deck. Your character deck can always be saved in a dedicated space. The only character cards you own that will be outside the character deck are the heroes and NPCs used in your last adventure. You must include them in the shuffle. Okay. I did not use NPCs in the last adventure. I think I was supposed to, but I failed to do so. This at least gives context into why they use the same back, the same card back for these, because when I was organizing the game, it seemed like an odd choice. Always leave. All right, so we shuffle this deck. Next step, shuffle all NPCs from the current week that you don't own. Draw 4 and put them face up on the map. Don't shuffle the hero cards you don't own. Always leave them at the bottom of the city deck. I'm gonna get a good shuffle in on this. I'm a terrible shuffler, especially of sleeved cards, but that's gonna have to do for now. So that goes there, or rather, there. Despite the fact that the instructions show the opposite, they show city deck F going on the map, but that spot is clearly labeled character deck. Yeah, which is probably why maybe you want to have a little bit better naming of these things, or in different backs, because it's a little confusing. I'm assuming that they just inverted these, and that is indeed meant to be the character deck, and the city deck sits off to the side. All right, so what did they say here? Shuffle all NPCs from the current week that you don't own, draw 4, and put them face up on the map. The fuck? Always leave them at the bottom of the city deck. Where are the rest of these fucking NPCs? Do these NPCs all just sit on top of this city deck? Is it just me, or is this a little bit obtuse? City deck contains characters you don't own. Hero cards, put them all together. NPC cards, separate them by week. Yeah, it really doesn't tell you. Like, do you shuffle your character deck? Or your city deck? It just says shuffle the NPCs. Alright, so just follow the instructions, and then if it gets fucked up, I'll post a rant video about how idiotic the organization of this workflow is. Shuffle all the NPCs in the current week that you don't know. Draw 4 and put them face up on the map. Yeah, this, which makes sense. It's just, if that is the case, then I don't know why they go through all the trouble of conflating the hero cards and the NPC cards a little bit. Or where they make you get all the hero cards out at this point. I don't fucking know. Alright, we're gonna have to reorganize a little bit here. Face it. Yeah. Alright, so we got some NPCs. We've got Hai Lang, the Challenger. His quest power, gain 1 mana or 2 empowered tokens. Cool. Here is Gustig Redfield the Noble. Quest power, plus 20 to hit points stat. Your 3 allies take 5 damage. Oh, you sneaky sack of shit. Betraying my friends. Bethesda the Shaman Warrior. Change a level 0 attack for a level 1 tank or healer attack not in use. Wow, that's really interesting. Allows you to use abilities cross-class. And Jagral the Poltergeist. Start of quest. Move 6 and deal 7 damage to a villain within 1 of you. Very cool. Not quite sure what to do with these now. I think let's just go back in my custom storage, which I will do a video about. I'm very proud of my organizational anal retentiveness when it comes to games. Okay. And we'll get into how that all works when we're done with like the basic stuff. Grab a bunch of mana cubes of any colors. Put your 4 city structure cards on their respective slots. And for that, we are going back to our... We want to make sure we use the right terminology here. Terminology is important. This is your What is like your running deck? It's not the city deck, it's not the character deck. It's like your save deck or something like that. I don't fucking know where they refer to it here. Anyways, these are all the things that I've earned so far. So I got my resources, and then I've got my structures. Shop Tavern, Iron Hand Outpost in my natural lab. Okay. This other stuff I assume we're not gonna need. I'm gonna put it into my save slot. All right, playing the stage. Each of the 4 heroes in your team must lead a group of characters, heroes and or NPCs, employing their abilities to accomplish a variety of challenges. Step 1, each hero draws a hand of 4 characters for a total of 16 cards. If you have fewer than 4 players, your team always has 4 heroes, therefore you must always draw 4 hands of characters. Each is led by a different hero. Yeah. Drawing your own hero card or not. Heroes in a team split to run their own errands when they return to Warfugee. If your hero card is not drawn, it just means that you're healing wounds or preparing for the next adventure. That hero is merely leading a character team. Oftentimes, though, your hero card will be drawn, which means you're part of your own team or that of another hero. Yeah, all right, so everybody draws 4 of these cards. So, I'm gonna go just like this. Might as well reveal. All right, starting with, I don't have her character card now, so I can't fucking remember her name. This lady. It's kind of stupid. That was stupid workflow. I don't know why I keep calling them workflows. Probably because that's process improvement, and workflows and such are a lot of what I do in my day-to-day. All right, so everybody gets 4 of those cards. Great. So, the fuck is her name? Yemi, right. Yemi got herself. Okay, cool. And then a couple freehand soldiers. Blah, blah, blah. And Nariel got herself 2. Nyx got Herodotus. And Herodotus got a bunch of randos. All right. Each hero plays a single turn. Turns in turn order. Each hero has a single turn to play as many cards in hand as it wants. If all cards have been played, or if a hero decides to pass its turn, track it with a fatigue cube. Oh, I see. Okay, so once they've taken their turn, then you track it just like any other round. Makes sense. Get a fatigue cube set up here. When you see the Thunderbolt, it means there's an instant city power. Like skills and quests, cards with this symbol will be played in another hero's turn, even by fatigued heroes. Okay, so maybe we should capture right off the bat. Does anybody have those kinds of abilities? Probably not. I'm assuming that none of the starter guys do. Oh, she has Nyx and. Oh, that's cool. She's going to have a very fruitful turn here. Yeah, okay, I do see it. It's right here. Ugh. This isn't the most solo friendly thing I've ever seen, because, you know, you'd be talking with your friends, you'd be say, okay, what do we want to do? I'm gonna do this. And they would go, oh well, I can give you 2 extra lures so that you can complete that, but when you're by yourself, you just have to do it all yourself. I'm just gonna put these decks right in front of me so that I can facilitate that. Because you're kind of all taking your turn at the same time, except that you can't do that if you're playing by yourself. As in quests, there's no fixed turn order. It's up to you to determine which hero takes the first turn and so on. The playing stage ends when all 4 heroes have played a turn and are fatigued, even if there are still unplayed cards in someone's hand. So everybody has to take their own distinct turn, and within their turn, they can take their actions, and that's it. Allocating character cards. To play a character card, simply place it near one of the following challenge areas: expedition, face-up NPCs, or city structures. You may distribute your hand into several challenges, but each character card can affect only one challenge. E.g., the same character cannot help conquer 2 different expeditions, or an NPC and an expedition on the same city phase, even if it produces more ability points than necessary. For example, you can't assign a card's might to an expedition and the same card's friendship or whatever to another expedition. When played on your turn, characters produce the ability points described in the lower part of their card. In addition, advanced NPCs apply a city power. When played outside of your turn, only the Thunderbolt instant city powers apply. That character doesn't produce other powers or abilities. And when you play it, you place it near one of the challenge areas. Okay, conquering challenges. Challenge is the minimum ability that you must produce to conquer a specific expedition, NPC, or city structure. Some challenges require points for more than one ability type. In these cases, you must produce the required minimum of all types of abilities. Okay, obviously. The abilities must be produced in a single turn. At the end of each turn, move all play cards to the discard pile. Any ability points produced in excess and not used or lost. If you conquer an expedition or city structure challenge, immediately place a cube on the designated space on the city map. That's these spots. And those spots. Okay, so that's it for the setup stage. Now we go into the spending stage, the fun stage. All right. Step 1, NPCs, expeditions. Remove their cubes, if any. What? Oh, okay, no, we're not in the playing, we're not done with the playing stage yet. Play character card, place it near one of the following challengers. Okay. So let's say that we're starting with Nyx. And let's take a look and kind of let's see what our rewards are here. Up here, we're getting to draw loot cards for each cube. So when we complete the challenge, we get the number of mana cubes identified there, and then you get to draw extra loot cards. I don't really want to do that. What I really want to do is buff up my team and maybe get one of these cool NPCs. And so the game basically works the same way. So I look at my cards and I go, all right, so in my hand, like by default, Yemi on her, not Yemi, Nyx on her own has what? Let's see here. Yeah, it'd almost be nice if they gave you some, there were like tokens or something for this. He's got 4 might. Nine wisdom, 4 perception, and 4 persuasion. So she's heavy on books. She's heavy on books. So let's just start there. We're looking here. Man, I don't know what any of this shit right here means. What I really want to do is draw some heroes. So I'm going to be thinking about that. Draw 2 heroes and add 1 to your character deck. I have to get 2 mana onto this spot to be able to do that. I can get mana there with eyes and persuasion. She's not the strongest on eyes. Let's look at everybody else and make sure. Eyes and persuasion. Yeah. Herodotus has got 6 eyes and 6 might. Eyes and might and eyes work well on the Iron Hand Outpost, which lets you remove cards from your character deck, so that gets some of these basic peons out of your deck. That would probably be useful. Yemi's got a lot of vision. Yeah. 6, 9. By default, just by herself. And a lot of persuasion. So she would be really good for the tavern, probably. So maybe I'll take her turn first, just so that I can start fucking doing something. You know, like this is super annoying though, because it tells you to put the cards near the spot, but like where? You're just supposed to throw them onto the fucking map somewhere. Okay, wait. Single turn to play as many cards in hand as it wants. To play a character, oh, you play the cards one at a time, I see. Simple place challenge areas to gain new cards. You can distribute your hand into several challenges, but each, okay. So Yemi's gonna go. Again, this is where having 4 people would be really nice, because you would be talking to yourselves and you'd be like, hey, looks like you've got a shitload of vision. But I do too, so I need a place to spend mine. And so maybe you would look up here and you would see like who we can fucking capture. In terms of these NPCs, one that I know I want, the one that I know I want is her. So might and knowledge. Yeah, so Anariel could get her just by herself. Very clean. So I don't need to worry about that. Back to Yemi. 1, 3, 6, 3. Persuasions. Yeah, alright. So I'm going to play this here. I've got 3 hands, which gets me 1 mana. And 6 vision, which gets me 2 more there. You know, this would be better as a mat. I think that they're coming out with one. They're going to do another Kickstarter or put out some kind of add-on stuff, premium add-on stuff, which would be really cool. All right. So that gets me 3 onto the tavern. It's got a max of 5, which you can see there. I can pay a mana plus 3 rubies to upgrade it. Have 3 rubies. Open 2 somethings. I don't know what the fuck those are supposed to be. All right, so that's the start of her turn. Now, are you like playing people? So now I've got the Iron Hand Negotiator. He's got 3 persuasion. Or he can help somebody else out. Let's see. Draw 2 heroes and add 1 to your character deck. Yeah, I really want that. Oh, and you have to spend a ruby and a gold. So I'm going to show they have those. Yeah, I have enough to do that at least once. And so that's why you would be gathering resources. Yeah. Draw 1 loot card per blah for each blah. Draw 1 extra loot card. All right. Still not super clear on, like, are you playing these in batches or does each, like if I play this Iron Hand Negotiator, if I play him here, he's only got the 3 persuasion. Is that just a complete waste, or can I follow that with the Iron Hand Soldier, and the combination of the 2 have what is necessary? It's really unclear. Challenge is the minimum ability that you must produce to conquer a specific expedition, NPC, or city structure. The abilities must be produced in a single turn. At the end of each turn, moved all played cards to the discard pile. Okay. Yes, so you can pile them up and then you figure out if you completed the challenge or whatever. So I know I want her. He really cannot get me there. He's got 3. So maybe she saves these because she can play them on other people's turns, and I don't really have a defined thing that I want to do with them right now. And maybe I play this guy out somewhere. Let's see, actually. I could get Heilong, gain 1 mana or 2 powered. Could gather some resources pretty easily. I think this is cool. It's a lot with playing solo. Again, the interaction between these decks is something that I'm really not going to be able to capture right here, because I'd have to read through 4 decks and then like do all the math required. Like, oh, I'm trying to get that guy. I better make sure I hold on to this card. You know, it would be a lot easier if you had 4 people. Yeah, let's just do this. I'll go ahead and recruit him. And then I set that down. At the end of each turn, move all played cards to the discard pile. If you conquer an expedition or city structure challenge, immediately place mana on the designated space on the city map. If you conquer an NPC, put the mana on top of its card. All right. So I conquered this NPC because they spent the necessary resources, 3 damage and 3 handshakes. And I had already given myself the mana for the conquering that I did here with my 9 points. And then it goes to the next hero. So we'll go here to Anariel. All right, 5 might, 3 book. What does that get me? That would get me her, but I would be wasting some. Upgrading these structures is very much worth it too, because that's how you level up your cards, your abilities. I've got 2 wood, 2 gold, and a ruby right now. Not enough to upgrade anything. else we have? Okay, I'm like, let's look at Nyx. She's got a shit ton of hands and vision. Hands and vision. What could I use that? What could I do you for? Not a whole lot. No books. Five on the old handshake. Hands and vision actually goes right there quite nicely. That'll get me 2 more mana there. But I don't have enough rubies to actually... Oh, I can generate rubies from there too. Interesting. Wait, yeah. I'm gonna play Nyx there. She's contributing 2 more mana to that spot, which is the max.
Brian?
Yeah.
I'm heading out with Molly right now.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What else do I have here? I've got hands, books. I've got fucking 5 might, 5 hands, and 6 books. Okay. I know I want her. I don't really want to overpay. But let's see if I can get her with anybody else. Need the might. Herodotus has the might. Could do it, but that would also be a waste of resources. Here we go. Yeah, 3. And then if I could feed him a book from someone, which I can. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna hold on to one of those because I'm gonna give it to player 4, whatever you wanna fucking call it, to get her. Generate large numbers of resources. to save that too. Yeah, so now it's just, she's got 5 might and 3 book smarts. She could just make sure to get that guy. Ah, this is tricky shit. It is. I need to see what. Yeah, I could feed her 2 more books if I wanted to, which might be valuable. Or 2 more might. Maybe I do that. Alright, fuck this. I'm gonna go here. That gives me, on that spot, that gives me 5 might and 2 handshakes. So I can get 1 mana, but what I really want is to get 2 from that. And so Ratis is going to play that to give her another 2 might. Now all I need is a handshake. And I've got that in my own deck, so I'll play that like that. And that is it for Anariel's turn. So now we just kind of count up what we got. All right, so on this spot we had 5, 6, 7, 8 hammers and 5 negotiators, so we get 2 mana cubes on that spot. And then down here we had Nyx, 5 negotiation and 4 vision, and so we get 2 more mana there. Again, these colors don't mean anything, which is sure to confuse some people, but I don't really think there's anything that can stop that at this point. It is cool though. I mean, like I see what they're doing here. It's kind of very Warcrafty. All right, and so you can see here you get bonuses for conquering multiples in these various areas. So you get 1 loot card per mana, but if you get 3 mana on there, then you get to draw an extra loot card. So I definitely want to go for that. And then conquer 3 NPCs, draw a loot card. I conquered 1 already. I don't really want all 3 of these, but I might go for them anyways. Let's see what Nyx can do. Nyx's turn. She's got 9 lore. Guess if you want to call it that. All right, so let's just see. What can I do with that? Those 2 could go right there. and get me 6 books on that spot. Then I need handshakes. Six books. Do me some good on the natural lab. 1 mana, change 2 loot cards. Oh, that's super powerful. Okay, well I definitely want to do that at least once. Yeah, so maybe spend this here. I want to get a mana onto that spot so that I can change some of those loot cards out, because I might let me upgrade more than once. Got 3 books. Yeah. These 2 could go here and capture him. Haratas has got 4, 4, and 3. Persuasion. That combination is not useful in any of these spaces. I've already full up on the Turtle Point Peninsula expedition, so it's not useful there either. So now we got to look at the combo. See, this is tricky shit. And I also need to be paying attention to what other people can feed to me. I get 2 more lore onto him. Open a vision. Oh, I do. All right. I think what you really need to do to do this efficiently is to just identify, like, instead of trying to perfectly spend your points, just identify what you actually want to get done. Things that I want to get done. I want to get more loot. I know that. And I may not have very many other chances, so I'm going to have to go for it with old Herodotus here. So he's going to go here. Let's get 3 might and 1 vision. My other player is going to play the +2 vision down now, and that gets him 4 might and 3 vision. So if I could feed him 1 more might, that would be valuable. But I don't think I can. See, it's just like a highly inefficient move then. I'm gonna take that back. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put him here and conquer this one. 3 might, 3 lore. Boop. And then I've got 3 vision and 3 book left. Yeah, why not? They'll go there. All right, so that's the end of his turn. He conquers her. And a cube. They conquer him. 3, 2 vision, 3 book. We'll get him. He contributed 3 lore to the natural lab. And now we move on to our final turn here. So we're already getting the benefit for conquering 3 NPCs, and I don't even really necessarily like this guy, so I'm not going to worry about that. I've got 6 vision, and at this point, really, I have all the cards for my other characters too. So, in terms of might, all I've got is the 3. What can I do with the 3 might? Wouldn't really be super efficient to spend it up here if I don't have to. What I want to spend up there is vision and books. If I have enough. I've got I've got 6 vision in my hand right now. Can I get to 3 books? I can get to 2 books. So what am I going to do with the 6 vision? Could dump it onto the Iron Hand Outpost. I really do need another loot card though. Three might. All right, here we go. Let's just fucking do this. 3 might, 2 vision from one of my other players gets me that. Sitting here with 6 vision and 2 book. Okay. Can't quite get it perfect. But these 2 books and that go there. And then this goes here. All right. 3 might, 3 vision, gets a mana cube there. Yeah, this is really hard to remember actually. Like, you have to remember that, oh yeah, that was that guy's Iron Hand Spy, because you only want to count the points that you have there. Yeah, this was 3 and 2. So I get just 1 mana there. Down here, I'm just getting 1 mana for vision, which I don't even know if 1 mana on these spots is even of value, really. And I think that's it. Yep. All right, so that's the spending stage. Little clunky. I could imagine it getting easier, maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Maybe unlikely. That's the playing stage. Now the spending stage. NPCs expeditions remove their cubes if any, then draw loot cards if earned. All right. So I've got 4 cubes on expedition. Draw 1 loot card per cube. For each 3, draw 1 extra loot card. All right. Very nice. Get us a shit ton of loot cards. So that's 5 loot cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, for the NPCs, move conquered NPC cards to your character deck. Yep, so I've got him, and I conquered 3, so I get a loot card. There. Ashia goes there. He goes there. And then for the city structures, spend their cubes. If your characters have accomplished challenges in a city structure, you have cubes on that structure. You can spend them to gain a loot card. Gain 1 loot card of a specific type. Oh, I see. Yeah, so, you know, in any one of these spots, I could spend 2 cubes to get a wood, a ruby, a blah, or a blah. Upgrade that particular structure by 1 level. That requires mana plus resources. So I want to look at my resources. I may want to do that. Open, not buy, 2 random items of a specific type and level. Okay. Yeah, so for 1 mana, you can open 2. I don't know what they mean by open. Add them to the shop or something like that. Yeah. Step 3, items have opened. Items cost is printed in the lower right section of the card. To buy it, you must pay that specific amount. I think we actually need to look at an item card here. Let's see what the fuck. Here's your level 1. Oh, I see. You see, you have to spend more resources to do that. So you spend it. You can spend a mana to make these cards available, and then you spend resources to actually buy them. All right. The tavern, you can gain new heroes. Okay, so I know I want to do that, so I'm going to do that first. Tavern, 2 mana plus 1 gold plus 1 ruby. Draw 2 heroes and add 1 to your character deck. Am I supposed to shuffle that deck at this point? It really doesn't at any time tell you to shuffle the hero cards. It just says put them all together. So I'm reading that to mean that I don't shuffle them, and when they say draw, they don't mean like draw from a shuffled deck. They mean pick that's really what they mean. You gain new heroes. So they mean pick 2 heroes. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Draw 2 new heroes and add 1 to your character deck. For fuck's sake, I wish that they would be a little more specific about this shit. But I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna spend 2 of my manas and a money and a ruby. Well, shit. Hold on. I'd really like to be able to upgrade that. I have a lot of rubies on me right now. I have a shit ton of gold and a shit ton of ruby. And a decent amount of wood, enough wood to upgrade some stuff too. Gold and rubies upgrade the weapon shop, but I didn't go to the weapon shop. I need iron to upload the Iron Hand Outpost or the Tavern, and I don't have iron. But I could change 2 loot cards, so I could trade some stuff for the iron that I need to upgrade the Tavern. I haven't ordered it yet. Can you do it? I haven't ordered it. I don't care. Yeah, you can do dinner. You, yeah. Yeah, all right. So let's do this. I'm gonna go here, change 2 loot cards. I keep my gems, keep my gold, but right now I don't give a shit about the wood. So I'm gonna trade 2 wood for 2 iron. Let's go back over here. That takes care of the natural lab. I'm gonna go to the tavern. I'm gonna spend 1 mana, 3 rubies, and 2 iron to upgrade the tavern from level 1 to level 2, or from level 0 to level 1. Tavern 2, whatever the fuck. Let's blotter, save scriptures here. Assuming that takes place immediately. Yeah. Okay. Tavern 2 upgraded. Which now for tacticians and controllers lets me take 2 level 1 cards with me and level 1 armor. Armor level 1, again, I don't know what that symbol, it looks like a dress. It must be cloth. Yeah, because those guys wouldn't wear heavy armor. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're doing some shit. Next, I'm going to spend 2 mana, a ruby, and a gold to draw 3 heroes and add 1 to my character deck. Ruby and gold, go over here. I have to shuffle. I assume it's the only way that it makes any fucking sense. At no point did they tell you to shuffle this deck that I have seen. And this deck is fucking huge. And this deck has fucking characters who both sides are a different character, which means that you know who the fuck they are. I don't know. Some of this stuff isn't thought out in the most intelligent way possible. I would much rather this be a table, basically. I mean, that might be fucked too. Or an app. That'd be really nice. Click a fucking button. It selects, you input when you download the app, you input your character selection. You know, so if you only have Tanares, maybe you only have like 8 characters. If you have everything, then you input them all. And then you press a button and it draws 3 random ones, and then you pick, instead of having to shuffle this giant fucking deck every time and blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, I'm going to read through the rule book here on this stuff. If you decide to upgrade a structure, all of its benefits and effects come into effect immediately. Yeah, and they call out here, if you have enough loot cards and mana to upgrade a structure, it's better to upgrade it before gaining a new hero, because the new level allows you to choose your new hero from a larger pool of options at the same cost. Mm-hmm. Come on. Jesus fucking Christ, what a nightmare. Shuffling her deck. I think this game could benefit from some app functionality for some of this stuff, like that spending stage too. The playing stage. That would be a lot easier if you could, again, you tell the app what your current character deck is. The app assigns 4 cards to each character, to each player. Shows you at a glance all of the values that each player has available to them. As well as their transferable values. And then as you're, you know, allocating your cards, it shows you visually, okay, so right now I have 3 on there, but I can pull 2 more from this guy without having to have 4 people, or without having to forehand this, which is pretty complex. Buy comrade cards. What the fuck is a comrade? It must be related to the commander. All right. Draw 3 heroes and add 1 to your character deck. This is about as good as I can do. Shuffling this thing. 1, 2, 3. All right. We've got a controller, a tank, and a brute. Right off the bat, the tank is unique. I already have these other fucking guys. So that interests me. The controller interests me because I've already upgraded their deck. No tacticians, unfortunately. All right, so we got to get our character cards out to our ability cards. Yeah, we've got Qatar. The Barbarian. We've got our tank. Our controller. Where's our controller? And our tank. Otherwise known as budget Jamie Lannister. Okay, so let's see what makes. So I'm leaning towards the tank right away because then that lets me mix up my party composition, which these other guys don't. They just let me replace people who are in the existing roles. Tank, circle of protection. Trigger, enemy started its turn within one of you and declares an attack. Effect, you are shielded 4. If an ally is attacked, heal 4 an ally. That's interesting. Enemy started its turn in one of you and declares an attack. Okay, so that's kind of cool. This is Sir Eric, the Paladin. His normal abilities, he's got Shield of Faith, 2 squares, 1 enemy, gain a +2 bonus to your roll, does 10 damage plus effect, you are protected. Holy Sword, 1 square, 1 enemy, 8 damage effects. You are toughened once per turn. You or an ally within 5 squares, you regains 3 hit points. And then his 2 specials, he's got Barrier of Light, which is an interrupt made during the target's turn. 8 squares, targeting 1 enemy, making a primary attack. It has a drawback. You take 10 non-lethal damage before striking. It does 0 damage, but it completely negates the target's attack. You or an ally within range regains 16 hit points. Wow. Pretty powerful. Divine Sacrifice, 1 square, 1 enemy, takes 6 non-lethal damage for striking. It does 20 damage plus effect. You are an ally within 5 squares, he regains 20 hit points. Wow. That does 20 damage and 20 healing. That is that's pretty powerful. And then of course, you know, to really get the full picture, you would need to get the tank class cards out and see what options you have there. I guess I'll do that with him specifically since he's the only new class I have here. So, and I'm trying to remember tanks. Yeah, tanks and bruisers. So if I take him, I'd be replacing Anariel. I fucking hate Anariel. She's been driving me crazy, mostly because of roles, which has nothing to do with her character. But it feels like it has something to do with her character, and so I'm holding it against her. All right, so the 2 starting abilities are Daring Taunt, 2 squares, 1 enemy, +3 your attack roll, 9 damage, pull another enemy, and Heavy Shield, 1 square, 1 enemy, 10 damage, you are protected 3. Yeah, I like those. I'm gonna go with him. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna go with him. But I do want to look at these other guys. Because I only get to keep 1. Yeah. All right. Here we've got Valerant the Mastermind. Trigger. Target is within 4. First hit of your turn. Effect to pay 3 hit points to make 2 basic attacks against another enemy. Holy shit. What? So these effects are different for all of these characters. Or at least there's some variation. Yeah, because Yemi's just let you charge 2 skill tokens, which is fucking nigh on worthless. Herodotus's passive sucks too. Oh man, these are some good crunchy choices. That's a really powerful, insanely powerful passive. All that I need to trigger it is that somebody be within 4. Pay 3 hit points to make 2 basic attacks against another enemy, and that also wouldn't trigger them. And his basic attacks are ranged and do 7 damage. I mean, that's 14 extra damage potentially every time he activates. In terms of his abilities, he's got Tentacle Claws, 2 squares, 1 enemy, +2 to attack roll, 9 damage plus effect. Target is one of these at your choice. Slowed, vulnerable, exposed, cursed, weakened, or distracted. That's incredible. That's an incredible ability. He's also got Wall of Fire, 8 squares, all combatants in a 5x1 area, so 8 damage per hit plus effect. Effect is each target hit chooses 1, move to the target, you choose the movement, or the target takes another 2 damage. Villains always choose B. Okay. So in multiplayer, the targets take another 2 damage. So this could do 50 damage in 1 attack, unbuffed. Wow. He's got Weird, 8 squares, 1 enemy, 24 damage. Plus effect. The effect is kill the other enemies with 10 hit points or less within 5 of you. Wow. He could end a quest by himself. He is 100 times more powerful than she is. And then he's got Regeneration. Interrupt, made during the target's turn. 8 squares, 1 enemy attacking. Benefit, this attack cannot be removed, negated, regained, or copied. Make this attack only when you are dead from your square of death. It does 3 residual damage plus effect. Effect, you revive within 5 of your square of death with 20 hit points and no special attacks. Holy shit. That's why this game is so cool. That is a really hard choice. As much as I like the idea of getting rid of Anariel, the fuck is her name? Yemi is not exactly a powerhouse. I don't really like the way that she plays at all. I don't give a fuck about. Fatal Kiss is okay. I don't like the guessing aspect of Wheel of Fortune. It could do a shitload of damage. It could do no damage. Mind Strike is pretty worthless. Just lets you move him a little bit and it hits like a wet noodle. Blood Petals only works if you rolled an even natural number. Wow. Yeah, she sucks ass compared to him. And then we've got the Brute. And he's going to get 2 level 1 cards too. Or we've got the Brute, Qatar. His passive, no ally is within one of the target. First hit of your turn. Can I do this again? I think I can actually do this again. I don't have enough rubies. Where do my motherfucking rubies go? I spent all them fucking rubies. The effect, no ally is within one of the target. Effect, deal +4 damage and move 1 the target. I don't really care about that. I mean, that's nice, but nothing compared to this guy being able to just fucking whip out 4 attacks per turn. Mighty Blow. 1 square, 1 enemy. Before striking, you may declare a +2 bonus to your roll. If you do and the attack hits, the target takes -2 damage. It does 14 damage. So that's pretty cool. You can increase your chances of hitting to reduce the damage a little bit. Berserker Strike, 1 square, 1 enemy, 13 damage plus effect. You can move the target 2 squares and it's exposed. Barbaric Rage, 2 squares, 1 enemy. Benefit, gain a +2 bonus to your roll. Does 26 damage. And Whirlwind, 1 square up to 2 enemies. Benefit, you may move up to 5 squares. Meanwhile, you may strike each target at any time. Example, you move 2 squares and strike 1 enemy, then move 3 squares and strike another enemy. 18 damage per hit. Yeah, I don't like him. He sucks. So I'm definitely not taking him. I'm taking this. I have to. As much as I want fucking budget Jaime Lannister, this guy is a massive upgrade over my team. And I'd like to give Inariel a little bit more of a chance. She has a very powerful passive, which I'm factoring into my decision as well. Where'd my fucking tank cards go? There we go. So y'all can fuck off to the Mother Village. I'll sort their cards back in together, and we are adding the Mastermind to our character deck. All right. We'll come back to the tavern, I think. We'll go to the Iron Hand Outpost. I've only got 1 mana there, which means I can just open 2 armor for purchase. Question is, what level? Yeah. Items cost is printed in the... Alright. Well, that doesn't really answer the question that I was trying to ask. Can spend cubes. Open. Do not buy 2 random items of a specific type and level. So I'm assuming that this is saying you can open 2 level boop cards. That would make sense. There's really nothing else I can do with that mana. And unfortunately, since it's at level 0, I don't think that there's any benefit to. Like, these are all the same. And they don't cost anything. Yeah. That's worthless. So that was a wasted resource, actually. I just want to make sure, but I'm sure that I can't upgrade either. Yeah, I've just got 3 gold and a wood. All right, so that was kind of worthless. And then we come back around to the tavern. We've got 2 mana left. So we can open 2 level 1 cards or generate. Oh, we can open 4 level 1 armor cards. I haven't really taken a close look at these weapon and armor decks yet, so I'm not entirely sure how they work, like if they're filled with like unique items or if they're all basically the same. Okay. And like, are you choosing or are you again drawing? Because drawing seems like it would really be punishing because you have no way of knowing if you can even purchase the thing. And maybe that's the point. Maybe it tells us up here. Just taking a look at the deck of items, 164 cards. You may spend mana earned in the playing stage to randomly open these during the spending stage. When purchased with loot cards, they leave the deck and become your team's property. They're divided into 4 types and have 4 levels. Okay, so you are randomly. All right, so I'll go ahead and do that then. I'm gonna open 2 level 1 pieces of armor. Yeah, I can already see some like organizational issues with this. Because how are you supposed to separate your opened? The idea is that at the end of this, all this shit, with the exception of that, I'm assuming, you retain and you're like moving on with. And so you put it into a pile. But that pile also contains all of your other gear. So how do you differentiate between the gear that you've already purchased or not? How do you represent it as opened but not bought? Or maybe you have to buy it in this round. I don't fucking know. Anyways, here's 2 items. Like, does it become a permanent thing that you can buy in future rounds? Or is it like a one-time thing? Yeah, open these during the spending stage. When purchased with loot cards, they leave this deck and become your team's property. Step 4, playing with comrades. Oh, that's if you're playing solo.
Brian, dinner.
Yeah, it's real unclear on that. But anyways, here's the 2 items that I unlocked. I've got the Basilisk Cloth, plus 5 hit points. You are shielded 4. A hero charges 2 skill tokens when you use it. Or the Mystic Robe, plus 5 hit points. The attacker and all enemies within 3 of it take 5 damage when you use it. Wow, that's fucking awesome. I've got wood and gold. So I do have the ability to buy the Basilisk Cloth. I guess I'm going to do that. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm buying the Basilisk Cloth. Fuck. Cool. All sorts of cool upgradey stuff going on. And that's nice because that means that my controller, going forward, my controller's always had plus 5 hit points. Assuming I take that piece of gear, which until I get a better option, of course I would. These are the level 1 cards right here. All right. Finally, the wrapping up stage. Step 1, move your discard pile back into your character deck. Now wait a minute. What do you do with this? Yeah, return all other components to their original places. This includes a city map, heroes you don't own, NPCs you haven't conquered, and items opened but not bought. You don't own these. City structures, items not equipped, and loot cards may be stored in a separate save game space. These are cards you own. Alternatively, you may flip the city structure card. Each contains different reminders about game rules. The easier way forward. Yep. All right. So to wrap it up, we take our hero cards. Put them back just so. We put this NPC back because we didn't successfully purchase him. Oh, these were the 2 guys that we didn't end up purchasing. So those go back in there. And we keep all this other shit. This is ours. This is ours. And these are ours. And for the upcoming journey phase, grab the 4 hero cards and 4 NPC cards that you want to use. So let's do that. I already know that I want to continue taking everyone but Yemi. So let's find the hero cards first. And all these basic guys don't even have a quest power, so there would be no reason to take them. There's our NPCs. So we're going to take all 3 of those. We're taking him. We're leaving her. And that's cool too, because that still provides benefit because I have a chance of drawing her in future city phases, and she has a lot more resources than a normal character does. We're taking him, him, and him. And again, the rest of these NPCs are useless. So these go back. These become the ongoing character deck. We've got our 4 heroes. We're trading out Yemi, so her cards need to go back where they belong. And we're bringing in, what the fuck is this guy's name? Vayrant, the mastermind. He's coming in right there. He's got his ability cards. And we're keeping you, and you. And we want to look at the structure cards too, because they remind you of like what you're capable of equipping at the moment. So my bruisers. Yeah, my bruisers, nothing's changed. I get my 4 level 0 attacks, 2 roll level 0, 2 hero level 0, and all my normal shit. I do need to assign my skill tokens, so I'll pile those up so I remember I need to redo that. We didn't upgrade the weapon shop, so same is true for my brutes. We did upgrade the tavern though, and so this is where some customization comes in. I need my 2 level 0 attacks and 2 level 1 attacks are lower. All right, so that's interesting because that reads like you don't have to take the character specific. Cards, these sleeved cards out here on occasion. Still worth it. Organizationally. All right. Level 1, level 1. Wow, okay, so I get quite a bit to choose from here. Yeah, these level, you would never take the level 0. You would never take the same level. I don't think you would ever take a low level. 2 level 0 attacks and 2 level 1 attacks or lower. Primary attack hand. Yeah. So I'm definitely taking his unique cards. Primary attack hand, 2 times level 0 attacks and 2 times level 1 attacks or lower. But that's not true, is it? What do they consider to be special attacks? Like, are they saying I don't have to take Wall of Fire and Tentacle Claws? These don't have a level. Fucking Christ, let's look at the goddamn rulebook. I'm trying to get upstairs and go eat. You have hero exclusive attack cards. They don't break them down there. Yeah, heroes. Here we go. Motherfucker. All right. I got people out there asking me to film this shit, and so I'm filming it even if it's fucking boring. The ones with the gold border are the special attack cards. Yeah. And the ones with the silver, whether they have a level on them or not, are the primary attack cards. So you don't have to take your character's primary attack cards. You have to take their special cards. But you could choose to not take these, depending on the level of your tavern. 2 level 0 attacks and 2 level 1 attacks, or lower. Yeah, I can only take 2 of the level 1 attacks, so I'm going to take those. But I didn't have to, and now I get to choose 2 level 1 primary attacks. Hypnotic Pulse, 8 squares, 1 enemy, 11 damage plus effect. Target cannot retaliate. That's pretty cool. Cannot retaliate, except for boss. It doesn't work on bosses. Lilac Eclipse, 8 squares, 1 enemy, 7 damage plus effect. Target is exposed. A hero gains 2 mana. Interesting. Mana generation. We've seen mana is fucking powerful in this game. You can fuck people up with that. Shadow Ritual, 8 squares, 1 enemy, benefit Dispel. 1 or an ally moves 1, it does 11 damage. Whenever a hero gains whenever a hero gains a mana, it may pay 2 hit points to gain an extra mana once per turn. And that's a temporary effect. That's interesting too. Poison to Caltrops, 8 squares, 1 enemy, drawback, you take 3 residual damage, 6 damage plus effect, move 1 the target. Target is bleeding 2, I don't really see the value of that. Vile Disease, 8 squares, 2 enemies, benefit, you are always with focus when making this attack, okay. 6 damage per hit plus effect. Each fatigued target takes plus 6 damage. Interesting. So this could do 12 damage to fatigued targets. I like that. 12 damage on 2 targets is pretty beastly. So I'm going to take Vile Disease and Lilac Eclipse. So that's it for Vayrant's abilities, but he also gets to equip an armor, and so he's gonna equip the Basilisk cloth that I just bought. He's gonna trade that out for the piece of shit that he has. These go back in with the controller deck. There's a lot to juggle here. And then we dole out the NPCs and apply their quest power. Change a level 0 attack to a level 1 tank or healer attack not in use. Interesting. Who's got the weakest level 0 attack? And that specifically said, so it has to be one of your class abilities. So you can trade a class ability or a class primary attack card for another one. Vitality Sword, 2 squares, 1 enemy, 10 damage, plus effect, you heal. It's not bad. Bone Destruction. I don't love Bone Destruction. What was it? Tank or healer attack, level 1. Alright, so maybe I'll use that on. Maybe I'll give that NPC to her. And Ariel is going to take her. She's going to change a level 0 attack for a level 1 tank or healer attack. I'm going to take a level 1 tank attack, and I'm going to trade Bone Destruction for it. Bruiser. Tank level 1. It's pretty cool. It's a powerful NPC. I'm glad I bought that. Anybody who says this takes 10 minutes is fucking retarded. I saw somebody say that. I don't know who the fuck you are. You're either some kind of super genius, you're not taking it seriously, or maybe it would be faster. It would be faster if you were playing with 4 people, but 10 minutes my ass. Champion's Charge, 1 square, 1 enemy, you move 3, 12 damage, plus effect, you're protected 3. Okay. That's interesting. Get her some more mobility. It's not blowing my mind, though. It's not super unique. Shield Slam, 1 square, 1 enemy, dispel 1, or an ally moves 1, 11 damage plus effect. You get to either deal plus 3 damage, move 3 the target, or the target becomes distracted. Okay, so that's got a lot of utility and a choice. Gives you a choice. Relentless Hunt, 2 squares, 1 enemy. Benefit, you flip an attack. Holy shit, this gives you one of your attacks back. That's interesting. Does 9 damage plus effect. You move 4, then pull for the target. That's really interesting. Diamond Shield, 1 square, 1 enemy, dispel 1, or an ally moves 1. 11 damage and you're shielded. Watchful Surge. 2 squares, 1 enemy, +2 to attack roll, 10 damage plus effect. Effect, choose a hero whenever it flips an attack, and it is not an attack being... Whenever it flips an attack and it's not an attack being resolved, you heal 4. Choose a hero. Whenever it flips an attack and it is not an attack being resolved, you heal 4. Oh, I see. So when a hero cycles, which is the only situation I know of right now, unless it's one of these other, you know, a card like the one that we just saw. So what this is saying is Watchful Surge. If I do this and then in that same round somebody flips, they cycle their cards, I could heal up to 16. I mean, yeah, choose a hero. Yeah, I could heal up to 16 health off of that. That's interesting. Deal 3 damage, remove 3 to target, or the target is distracted. I gotta take Relentless Hunt. You get to flip an attack. I'm taking that. That's fucking awesome. Because that just gives me an attack back. So if I'm in a jam and I really wanted a particular ability, or if I need to heal, you know, and I have a healing ability and I want to use it twice, that lets her do that. That's fucking awesome. So she gets that NPC. I guess I don't need to keep the NPCs out. I can just go back into the character deck. Jagaran the Poltergeist at the start of quest, move 6. So I'll give that to him. Start a quest, move 6 and deal 7 damage to a villain in one of you. This would benefit the Brute the most because he wants to get away from people so that he can trigger his thing. And then Heilong, gain 1 or 2 empower tokens. I'll give that to him. This other guy's already insanely powerful. And that's it. Technically, we would assign our skill tokens, but I'm going to do that later. But when I start the next quest. So I'm just going to double check. Yeah. Return all the opponents to their original places. City structures, items unequipped, and loot cards may be stored in a separate save game space. Yeah. All right. So that's it for the city phase. Very cool. A little complicated, especially solo. Wish that there was an app to run some of this stuff if you're solo. That'd be useful. But really, really cool, actually. Like, you really, I think we'll see the impact of this in the next gameplay video, in the next journey, because this one character alone is so much more powerful than Yemi. It's really cool. So that's all I have for now. Let me know in the comments if somehow I'm making this like way longer than it's supposed to be. I mean, obviously it'll be easier the second time around now that I understand it. And I will talk to you later.